COVID policies are out of control. Welcome to the Jason Rantz Show, brought to you by the Novak team, powered by Keller Williams. Visit them online at meetthenovaks.com. We've long known many of the COVID policies being imposed, especially on those who are vaccinated, make little sense. Politicians from Jay Inslee to Joe Biden think using the term science and data is a substitute for actually presenting science and data. But one policy out of Tacoma at Geiger Elementary School is quite possibly the most insane I've ever seen, and it's based in guidance that doesn't actually exist. Principal Neil O'Brien emailed parents 4 days after the first day of school with an update to the COVID policies at Geiger. He told parents that students have to wear masks during lunch. That makes sense. But the specificity of when it was necessary seemed, in the words of one father, insane. The email reads, yes, children should wear masks during lunch. They can lower it to take a bite or a drink and raise it to chew, swallow, or talk. Okay. He says, our cafeteria has a fantastic airflow system and children are spaced apart, and when over 100 of them are in a large room, the cafeteria and gym combined, we need to treat lunchtime as a dangerous time for all. Children need to continue to wear their masks during lunch. Why would children who are in the demographic least negatively impacted by COVID need to wear a mask to chew and swallow? Especially since the principal brags about social distancing and the ventilation system. One father who reached out to me said he called and emailed the principal multiple times, but got no response. He did, however, hear from Shalay Hobbs. She's Tacoma Public Schools Administrator of Health Services. This is quite possibly the most confusing email I have ever read from a public official, and that's saying something. And maybe, perhaps, confusing is the wrong word. The email itself, minus a spelling error, makes sense. But Hobbs defends the masking while masticating policy by pointing to a number of documents from either the CDC or the Washington Department of Health. Not a single document that she links to actually supports her position. For example, Hobbs claims in this email that, quote, children are encouraged to put their mask back on when not eating or drinking as outlined in the CDC resource document outline in the K through 12 schools guidance. She even points to a specific page, page number 6. But neither page 6 nor any page in this document addresses wearing masks while chewing and swallowing. That page only suggests you provide social distancing, quote, for all students when masks cannot be worn, such as when eating lunch. So in other words, the guidance from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is the exact opposite of what she claims. But it gets more absurd. Hobbs inexplicably cites the exemption section from a Washington Secretary of Health order. I don't think she actually read it. It explicitly says you do not have to wear a mask, quote, while engaged in the act of eating or drinking. You could see it on the screen right now. I'm not taking this out of context. I'm not getting creative with my interpretation. It seems pretty clear. Despite citing guidance that doesn't actually exist, in fact, it says the opposite of what she claims, Hobbs concludes that, quote, eating can be a high-risk activity as masks are removed, and in some instances, students are within 6 feet. Remasking when not actively engaged in eating or drinking can help add another layer of protection. I mean, I suppose it can, but it's 100% unnecessary, and it's not backed by anything that she cites, not even close. It is hard to imagine how both the principal and the district's administrator of health services got this so spectacularly wrong. It's either intentional or it's a sign of significant illiteracy. I'm going to go with intentional. When asked about the policy, it took a Tacoma Public Schools spokesperson 6 days and 5 emails to sort out an answer. Where did this policy come from? In what science or data is this actually based? I finally got a statement. It reads, the standard originally set at Geiger was established in good faith as an interpretation of health department guidance to wear masks when, quote, actively eating. In checking with the health department, that standard goes beyond their intent. We won't discipline any students for not wearing their mask between bites, and this is not the guidance being used at other schools. Now, I don't doubt the principal established this policy in good faith, but this isn't about good faith versus bad faith. The policy shows an extraordinary level of incompetence to misread the guidance this poorly. Their takeaway was the opposite of what was written. How does that happen? Moreover, this is really the kind of policy one can only create if you far overstate the threat of COVID to kids. Children rarely die or get seriously ill from COVID. That's a good thing. But this policy shows an unhealthy level of fear from an adult who's supposed to be more responsible in front of kids. If the intent is to scare the kids to death, okay, this could likely be viewed as a success. But our goal shouldn't be hysteria. It should be to promote responsible and reasonable mitigation policies. This doesn't qualify as that.